Hello, this is Jay with the Web App Hero, and today we're going to look at a Python library that helps us create regular expressions using chained methods. And the author of this library is Andrew Jones. The library is MIT licensed, and I had a little bit of trouble getting started with it because I'm a newer Python programmer. So I thought I would maybe save some other folks the trouble that I went through. So if this video is helpful for you, then it's definitely served its purpose. That is not to detract from what the author has done. I think this is a really great idea. And there's not only a Python version, there's a JavaScript version as well as a couple of others. And so I think this would be really neat to have a small community of folks sharing their regular expressions that they're doing with this library, and to see and compare and learn and contrast that with the traditional ways of working with regular expressions to actually see what is more readable and what works the best for any given situation. So with that, we'll just jump right in, and I'll just go through everything that I needed to do to be able to follow the example. So to start with, we will grab the URL. I'll copy that. This is an HTTPS URL. I'm going to use git to pull it down. So I'm going to do a git clone, and then the path to the repository. And if I don't include directory name after this, it will use the RegExBuilder py and create a directory with that name. So I'll go ahead and just accept that default. So it's successfully done. We will list and see that we have one directory. We'll go ahead and change directory into that directory. And one more time, we'll do the same thing into the RegExBuilder directory. And now that we're in that directory, we'll go ahead and run Python. And now that we have Python, we'll import RegExBuilder. And these are all things that I kind of had to dig through the code to figure out exactly what to do, and had to infer a couple of things. So this may just help you, but you will also want to come in here and read the code. It's not really complicated. There is a factory, and then there's the class file, which actually has the guts of the library. And so let's keep going with our example here. So I've imported RegExBuilder. Next, let's see, what do I want to do here? I'm just retracing my steps. Okay, so in the example, here we see in the example that Andrew is using, he's creating a variable. This is JavaScript, but we're going to do it in Python. So he's creating a variable regex, and that is referring to this method chain here, which starts with R. So what I kind of had to infer was that R must be an instance, and it must be an instance of one of the classes that he has in the library. So I just figured it would be the main class. So we'll create a variable called R, and we'll set that, we'll let that reference regex builder dot regex builder the class. So this is referring to the file name, the module, and this is referring to the class in that module. And so now R is an instance of RegExBuilder. Okay, so now we have our R, and the rest of this is really just kind of converting what you see here in the examples that Andrew has into Python. And so I'm just going to use this example that Andrew has provided for us. And these examples are really nice, and he's done a lot of great work to give us some, not only what you see here on the screen, but some other examples. By following this link down here at the bottom of the page, you can reach that. So I'm going to go ahead and paste in this command. I'm creating a variable named regex, and that is going to point to the results of this chain, which is our instance. And then we're just doing method chaining, which is sort of the beauty of how this library works. Instead of having really dense, terse, regular expressions, you're having something that's more readable. So we're going to find the dollar symbol with a minimum of 1 digits, then dot, then digit, then digit, and this last function here is going to convert all this into a regular expression for us. And so that's actually that's where the magic happens, really. So let me just take a second to point out something about this particular command, and that is that it does differ, the actual command, from the example. So in the example, you'll notice the last command on the chain is get regexp. And in Python, it's not get regexp, it's just regexp. And so the Python library and the JavaScript library have a few subtle distinctions, and this is one of them. So just keep that in mind as you're going back and forth between the JavaScript and the Python. We'll just see what is it that we actually have here. Okay, so this is actually a pattern object, and this is the built-in RE module within Python. So we have a pattern object, and we will not use the test method that Andrew shows in the examples because that is for JavaScript, and we'll actually use either match or search, which are the Python equivalents. And so we'll actually reference our work in a variable called m, and we'll use the match. We actually first need our object. This is our pattern object, regex, and we'll call match on that, and then we'll give it a string to match, and we'll just use the one that Andrew has in his example. So let's look at what m is. Okay, in Python, if m had returned none, then that would mean it did not find a match. But because it has found a match, we can ascertain some information about it, and we'll just get right to it and actually look at what was the match. And the command for that is group, and so we see the whole string is a match there. The matching string was $10. And the other option is you could do a search with Python. And this is not meant to be a treatise on regex and Python. It's really just an introduction to this particular library. So we could say something like, this is a $10 hat. And we could find out where in that string is the index of the first matching character. That's at index 10. And where does that end? At index 16. So if we look at, what is S? S is also a match object. And that really is, everything that I've shared is really just to help get you started. And that's basically where I'm at with the library. I think it's a really great idea. and love to hear your comments and feedback on it. And if you have some success with it, I'm sure Andrew would really appreciate hearing that too. Although I haven't touched base with Andrew yet, I will share this video with him and see if he wants to link to it from his resources. So thank you everyone for your attention, and I hope this is helpful. Have a great day.